Hi, this is Jeff Allen here. I'm answering this is specific question in my book on quality and measuring quality, quality evaluation, quality assessment. And I'm answering a specific question here that Jonathan Downey put up about on his Twitter channel. He specifically talked about measuring quality, measuring by the number of smiles that when he's interpreting the number of smiles he gets and have thank yous and that kind of stuff. And I want to answer how I do this. I've been talking about this for a long time, um, not just in the translation field, but also in other fields. And so I've been talking about this. I'd give a talk in 2014 October. Go look it up. It's for the I did it for the European Commission. It was called Demystifying Machine Translation, but I actually gave my 10 values. And one of the 10 values is measuring objectively what you do and find ways to measure objectively you do so you can actually plan ahead better. So measuring with an Excel sheet, doing everything, taking time, looking at the time, creating, and I've done this for sub projects. So I actually talked about that in my measurement thing, in the 10 values thing, and that was in the October 24th one. But I also gave another one a video called that's my 10 key values, and so I talked about how to measure. That's for the translation field. Well, actually for other things too, and you can actually do this like Excel sheets. How about telling on what platform you did it, how long it took, when you did it, how many entries you did, or something, how many terms you created, or how much, whatever you did, a number of words you translated, whatever, and just be able to measure that, and then track your time progressively, progressively with different tasks. But that's so those are ways to do that. But actually, what I've done now over the past, I'd say the past 6 to 12 months, I play music. I'm a musician, and I play a lot in different venues. And what I do is measure. And I actually was in a guitar class a while back, just a few weeks ago, and people are saying, "Well, I said I actually go through and I make songs. I look through songs through song lists, and if I have to do it in 5 minutes, I got to do everything in 5 minutes, really quickly, to be able to filter out whether I'm going to do that song or not. Just quickly. I don't have to have it perfect. Just have to quickly do it. And they said, then you got to spend more time. And what's your personal satisfaction? I said, well, I don't measure personal satisfaction because that's not objective. It's very subjective. Personal satisfaction is very subjective. And I said, what I do is I measure the objective things of the people, my customer satisfaction. So what I explained was, for my music, like I said, I don't care about my personal stuff. My personal stuff depends on my satisfaction, depends on my enjoyment, personal enjoyment, and pleasure. It comes from how many, okay, so this is the key thing, how many smiles I have in my audience. How many smiles are little claps or little, yeah, or people going, hey, hey, that kind of stuff. Or how many beers they come bring me, how many drinks they offer me, okay? Um, how many frowns I get. If I get some frowns, I know I got to work on something, right? So I can measure it negatively, right? So so I can actually tell if I've got to fix things, right? Bug reports, I can do them, right? Um, Other things that I can actually do are uh, I've had hotels come and offer me a free hotel room, for the night because I gave them a little concert. They just said, hey, they pulled all the beers out for everybody and did it. Um, Lots of examples of this, and the people come up, the servers coming up, the waiters coming up and say, hey, when are you coming back to play again? Because can I bring my bass next time so I can play with you, right? Or people coming out of the audience with a violin want to play with me, or people coming out of the harmonica want to play with me. Um, those are just a few examples of very objective user engagement, right? User engagement, customer engagement, what do you want to call this? And and I watch all this. And then, hey, when I got kids coming up to me and want to give me a handful of coins, measurement. Just the other night, somebody came up with a 10 euro bill. I said, no, I don't want money. I'm not here for the money. They said, no, I said, I'm not here for the money. So if somebody gives me something, I said, I'm going to give it to somebody else, right? Because I'm going to give it to somebody else. I can also measure by um, music by if I come to like a gazebo and I play somewhere in the park and there's people that are drinking beer, right? That not just one beer, they get a whole bag of plastic bag of beers. Never had one or two. If I can get to avoid them having to drink the whole thing, that's a measurement, right? Because sometimes those people are want to forget life for a while, right? So what I do is I come play some music and they enjoy life, right? And what happens is they are sometimes they ask me if they can sing. So I give them a microphone Hey, it's not great quality singing, but hey, they're all happy, right? And everybody's happy. You got it. People when they come up and want to start singing, doing karaoke, that's measurement, it's customer satisfaction. And I played in a restaurant the other day. I kind of popped in and said, "Hey, I'm going to go play in the park today. Could you play here?" And I did it. And the owner told me at the end of the evening that every single table said your musician's is great, right? Now it's not about me, but it's just my approach how to do it. My approach is customer satisfaction. And I actually said to all the people in the restaurant that evening, at the beginning of the evening, I said, the focus is not me here. I'm not the center of attention. You are the center of attention. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to play a little music kind of low so you can all talk and stuff. And it'll all kind of be background music. And I'll just, explain the songs and kind of give a little joke here and there. And the whole evening just was like that. And the owner just, in the first 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes, literally, somebody, hey, what do you want to drink? Okay, a customer says that we want to buy you a drink. And then they bought me another drink later. And then the owner, I mean, he gave me a meal, but the whole evening, you could see the people tapping their feet, right? And doing things. And then coming up and want to sing along with Hotel California and then filming the things. And so I have people come up, they want to film what I'm doing and take pictures and smiles. Hey, it's working, right? So I think these are ways that I measure music. These are ways I measure how I do things, right? And then what I do is I interpret that, I analyze and interpret it, and I decide what to do with it. And like I said, the frowns turn into bug reports. Got to fix it. The smiles and stuff, or how it happens, turns into how I'm going to repeat that in a certain way. And so I just want to, say to Jonathan Downey, I totally agree with what you're saying, and take the thing you've been saying in your tweet and in your Facebook post, and do the same thing. I mean, do exactly what you're doing, because this is a way to measure quality. Okay, and then read my book or watch my book. Watch my book on a simplified approach to quality assessment using customer experience and sales approaches, perspectives, because I explain this, how to do this. And it all comes down to measuring objectively things, and then not focusing on doing great, but focusing on avoiding doing the negative. That's the whole theme of the book. And I don't want to give the whole thing here, but then this will be just a new chapter add to that playlist, right? But the thing is here is I measure it just like you measure anything. But then I'm an auditor. I'm a process auditor. So, and one of my jobs. So what I do is I measure objectively how you improve, and then you avoid doing the things that are getting negative feedback. And then what you do is you take that and then turn it into fixing it. That's called corrective measures. And then you get into preventative measures. And what you do is you prevent repeating things that create bad feedback, right? I give a lot of examples of hotels and restaurants. Those are typical things. Even car repair and all that. These are all similar examples. Or haircut repair. Hey, COVID taught us a lot, right? So all the haircutters kind of got a lot of money right after COVID because everybody's trying to cut their hair, right? And it was damage control afterwards. So, but these are ways to be able to measure what you do and then do it better the next time. And then once you do it better, once you're doing it better and you're measuring it, then you can measure your feedback. You're able to do better planning for the next round of doing some kind of job or task or project or what do you call these things. So that's kind of the overall idea. And then in my books, I explain how to do that. So, or in this playlist book series, what do you want to call this thing, on quality assessment. And then the final point, which I want to say, is that, which Jonathan also said, is to invite you back. And that is exactly what my key measurement is. Does the restaurant or the bar or the pub invite me back again? So I remember being at an open mic thing back in March of this year. Had never been there. Popped in with a bunch of my SAP colleagues, and one of my colleagues who I played in bands a lot with, he says, "You're not going to Hold the Line again, right? To Hold the Line." I said, "Of course I'm going to do it. It's what works the best. It's my flagship song." And so I did two Toto songs, if I recall correctly. I think I did two Toto songs, or I did hold the line in Africa. I think, yeah. And the whole room was singing, right? Everybody in the room was singing those two songs, and it got everybody going, right? Even if I had to come to bloopers because I had only done Africa once or twice. I hadn't really done it in public yet, and I had bloopers, but they all got singing because they knew the song, right? They all knew the whole chorus. But the key thing in that was that even the organizer came up and started singing with me. He was singing the whole thing, hold the line, and and he was singing the whole thing. And he came up to me and says, "You can come back whenever you want. You can come back whenever you want, Jeff." And that is the key, right? So, and that was one example. Then the example of the restaurants I was playing in Lyon, where they said, "Hey, the bar said you can, or the restaurant said you can, when you coming back?" And they gave me free beers. They just said, "Hey, you keep the customers here in the evenings." So, and just a kind of outside, kind of outside terrace and stuff. And then the restaurant I just played last week again. They said, "Come back when you want," right? And it's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night are the most people are here. So those are key examples of being invited back, and that's exactly what you're saying, Jonathan. Okay, and this is key. If you get invited back, it meant that they really liked it, right? And they're willing to pay for some in some way, right? Or they want it to be representative and help them get more customers or something, right? So these are really key, and totally agree. And it has nothing to do with personal satisfaction, nothing at all. I just say my personal satisfaction is that I actually got my customer satisfaction. And sometimes I honestly do songs I don't really like. Um, I do some songs I don't really like. Okay, so it's not my personal enjoyment. It's the fact that I've got my customers all happy, and when all these things start happening, all these user engagement signs, cues happen, then my personal enjoyment is top because I've met the customer's needs, not right my own. But then it ends up fitting my own needs, and then I know the better songs to do, and I know the songs to avoid, and that even if I like the song, probably others won't like it. So that's it. Thanks so much.